This is 5 Minute Feng Shui, podcast number 9, The Doorway to Wealth, Feng Shui in your front door.
Welcome to the 5 Minute Feng Shui podcast, where each week I'll talk about how to move energy and make money. You'll learn how to create a prosperous home and abundant life using classical Chinese Feng Shui. I'm your host, Katie Weber, publisher of the Red Lotus Letter, Feng Shui Easy and for Wealth. Each week I'll talk about topics that can improve your life, share inspiring stories, and always end with 3 easy to implement Feng Shui tips that you can put to work right away and usually in 5 minutes. Now let's get started on the 5 minutes that could change your life.
Today's episode is all about Feng Shui and your front door. You know, the front door plays a really special role in Feng Shui. It's often called the mouth of Qi because that's the entryway for energy in your home. And it's also the entryway for opportunity, for money, and for success. So your front door is extremely important. The quality of the energy that enters your home is determined many times by your front door. So if you open up your front door and you see a ditch or you have a really unsightly view, well, that's going to affect the energy that comes into your home. You know, many people never even use the actual front door though, but they often ask how this affects their feng shui and if it affects their feng shui. And the answer is yes. That's because the front door is usually in the center of the house and it faces a road, which is actually a symbol of water in Feng Shui. And this is a key feature of the front door because it's normally designed to face the view of the road or a street or another feature like a lake, if you're so lucky to live in a lakefront or oceanfront house. And sometimes a house has a tremendous view of a valley or a view of the city or a lake at the back of the house. That sometimes can be considered your facing direction. But most houses have front doors that face a street, and they're at the front of the house, and they're designed to be the mouth of energy for your whole home. So if a house is never using their front door, then you've got a house starved of energy. Many times you're just going to feel like maybe you don't have opportunities the way you would like. You don't have money coming to you, or income may have crawled to a stop. And so this is what you want to make sure that you always use your front door, because you don't want your house to be starved for energy. You don't want your life to be starved for opportunity or for money. So it's really important that you use the front door intended by the architect. This is usually, again, facing the street. It's the most typical arrangement, standard arrangement for most houses. It's also, you know, some people have a question about, well, what really is my front door? Is it the side door? Is it the actual front door? This is, and I often tell people that this is where the delivery person, so your FedEx guy or your UPS delivery, this is where someone would go if they've never been to your house. They typically go to your front door. And that's because this is the area that was intended by the architect. Now that we know what the real front door is, it's really important that you understand that this is where energy comes into your home. And because it faces the street most of the time, this becomes a conduit for water. And it's an opportunity for wealth energy to enter your house. So every time you open your front door, you're activating that entryway and creating an opportunity for wealth to come into your house and into your life. It's also the location of opportunity. And we all know opportunities often bring greater wealth, like raises, an increased salary, windfalls, maybe a promotion, or an opportunity for a new job that pays better. A house that never has the front door open is literally a house that's low on energy, and that impacts your wealth and your money. And again, because the street is usually at the front of the house, which means water, because we think of streets in Feng Shui terms as modern waterways. Just think about when it rains, right? The water runs down your street. So a road is often looked upon as a waterway. And when you open the door and you allow that water energy to enter into the front of the house, this is a great way to activate your home, bring in opportunities, and also bring in more money. Now, if you enter the side door and only the side door, you might notice that money slips through your hands. A lot of people ask me if they no longer use the front door and they enter the house from the side door or the kitchen door or the garage door, should they consider that the front door? And the answer is absolutely not. And I usually ask the person, though, if they're experiencing financial difficulties, or maybe they're just having a problem getting opportunities to come to them, or a new job. They've been applying and nothing's happening. In fact, many times they have severe financial problems. And I'll tell them, just start using the front door and activating, and you might see an opportunity come up that you didn't expect. So that's a good way to activate for more opportunities. Just start using your front door. Now, if you enter through the laundry room or a kitchen and you go through a lot of mess, like through the garage sometimes, you can often see your finances suffer. Entering a house through a laundry room, for instance, and you'll watch money go down the drain symbolically. Maybe you'll have bills that are larger than you expected, or surprise expenses that you were not prepared for. Now, if you enter through the kitchen, you can literally burn through cash. So you might have experienced one expense cropping up after another. The other thing that it can do is it can often cause you to gain weight. So when you enter your home, if the first thing you see is your kitchen, many times those kinds of homes will have homeowners that struggle with weight. So it's a really good idea if you enter the kitchen and you're trying to lose, or enter the home and see the kitchen and you're trying to lose weight, walk around and go to the front door or use a different door, and you might see a change in your weight. I always find that fascinating and have recommended it to overweight clients who have wanted to lose weight and whose kitchen is the first thing they see. Still, knowing that the front door is such an important place for you to enter, many people do still insist on using a back door or side door out of convenience. And I get that. It's completely understandable. But you might find that you're going to have difficulty with opportunities and money coming to you. And if that's something that has been missing in your life or something you've been looking for, this is a really good way to start getting some energy flowing toward opportunity and more money coming in, and not so many bills, unpleasant surprises, or that burning through money that you might have experienced. You know, when we create beautiful entry areas and they're only used by the mailman or delivery people or an occasional visitor, maybe a Girl Scout bringing you some Thin Mints, my favorite, this is your opportunity that is being lost to bring more money and more wealth into your home. And this is what we're looking to do with our front doors, is bring those two things to us. Unfortunately, when you have those opportunities sometimes that come to you, they might just suddenly evaporate if you're only using the front door. So especially when you're applying for a new job, or maybe you've asked for a promotion or a raise, this is a really good time to go through the front door when you come home and when you leave, so that you get lots of good energy coming into your home, and you're activating that front door, which is the entryway for money and opportunity. Now, I always wonder. Many people beautify their foyers and their front doors, but they never use them themselves. So, don't just decorate for the Girl Scouts or the mailman or the UPS guy. Decorate and use that front door and see your beautiful foyer and see your beautiful entryway. And it really can lift your personal energy as well. I tend to look at it this way. When it comes to your front door, you are the most important person to enter your house. So treat yourself as good or as better than anyone else by using your front door every day. And one way you can use it is if you come in, you park in the garage, then come into the house, and then go use the front door to go check the mail or something like that. Just step outside. Another great way to activate your front door is simply to keep it swept. Sweep it every day, especially if you're looking for new opportunities to come to your front door. Now let's talk about something that comes up a lot in conversation about front doors, and that's color. There's a lot of question and a lot of talk about red doors and black doors being lucky in Feng Shui. Well, when it comes to red and black, those are two very auspicious colors in Feng Shui. Black is the color of money and red is the color of success. Now, we want both of those, so I guess maybe we should paint a checkered door. I think that might be kind of fun too. But, both are auspicious, truly. But there are some places where red just should not be used. And because it is an element of fire, fire is something that can really, there's a spark can turn into a wildfire blaze that burns up hundreds of thousands of acres. And we see that in California all the time. Somebody was pulling a trailer and they had a chain on it and it just hit the ground and that chain made a spark, and the next thing you know, a whole hillside or mountainside is burning. So fire is really an element that we need to control and that we need to use really judiciously. So that's one of the colors that I think you need to be careful with. And there's one door direction that it should never be used on, and that is the northwest. The northwest is the direction of the breadwinner. Typically, that's the man, not always. But even if it isn't, if the man isn't the breadwinner of the house, if the house has or the door faces northwest, then this is considered fire in heaven. Now, how do you measure that? If you stand in your front door and you take a compass reading and you look out toward the street with it, that's providing that your front door faces it's parallel with the front of the house. It's not turned or anything. And you see that your front door direction is northwest. Well, then that's the heaven location. And if you have, if there's a man in the house, and even if there isn't, this can be very harmful for the man in the house. It can be a sudden job loss of the man. It could be a sudden loss for the man. It might be like a serious health issue or something like that. So northwest is not a good idea to use the red color. Red otherwise is suitable and is fine. But really, when it comes to selecting a door color that's bringing you money and opportunity, black is your color. Now, I typically don't prescribe black doors except for this occasion, because when you want money to come in suddenly, you need an opportunity, you need a promotion, something like that, a black door is the doorway to wealth. That brings opportunity to you. Now, there's a fascinating new study that just came out recently, like in the past month, and that is, if you're trying to sell your home for the maximum amount of money, that a black door, according to Zillow, says that houses with a black door can sell up to $6,000 more than the expected sales price. So this is a very rich color. It's a really rich look. And if you just think of like number 10 Downing, the residence of the Prime Minister of the UK, it is always in a glossy black. I remember seeing it in the 1980s when I went to London the first time, and when you could actually walk past it. Now it's pretty well guarded, but you'll just trust me, if you take a look at it online, you can see it is a rich glossy black with beautiful brass hardware around it. Very rich, very elegant. So if money is something that you're after, a black door is going to be the perfect color to go with. Now, if you're not sure if you want a black door, maybe you don't like red, maybe those two colors are too strong for you, go with the Feng Shui beige. That's purple. Purple is a color that basically goes in any direction because it contains the colors that represent both fire and water. So that's why I like to call it the Feng Shui beige. It's a color that I think is a good sort of compromise if you can't decide on red or black. Now, if you do think that you'd like to paint your house front door a really different color, or you want to harmonize it with your house facing direction, just go to redlotusletter.com and search under door color, and I have a whole listing of all the door directions and what the colors are that are the most beneficial for each individual door direction. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed today's 5-minute feng shui about door color and using your front door and how important that is. But I'm ready to give you your 3 tips. So, tip number 1 for your front door: always keep your front door looking good with a prominent color that says "Money, come here." Number 2, use that front door frequently. The more you use your front door, the more it's activated and the more it can bring you opportunity and money. Number 3, beautify your front door. Add some pretty potted plants there, keep the hardware polished, and activate it by keeping the lights at the door and in the foyer turned on. Make it say that it looks fabulous and money come to my house. With those 3 tips, you can't lose. Thanks so much for being with me today on 5-Minute Feng Shui, and I'll see you on this next episode soon.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of 5-Minute Feng Shui. If you did, please be sure to share this episode with your friends on social media, and let's change the world one home at a time. For more Feng Shui information and inspiration, sign up for my free weekly Feng Shui Easy. Just drop by redlotusletter.com to sign up, and I'll be in your inbox every Wednesday. And if you like this episode, give it a thumbs up on iTunes. Now go have a fantastic day.